The ministry too has compiled a data, 12,667 children with disabilities, 103 graduates with disabilities from the tertiary institutions, and 30 graduates with disabilities from the tertiary institutions who are employable, who have employable skills. And also, the ministry submitted a paper, an information paper to Cabinet on disability employment issues. And I think we are in talks with the Ministry of Labor, Employment and Labor Relations, and also the Minister of Education to see how best they can be employed. And when it is done, we'll communicate to them. Ladies and gentlemen, livelihood empowerment against poverty, that's the LEAP, which is one of our flagship programs, which is a cash transfer to the extreme poor to be able to cushion them in their daily activities. The LEAP program have over 1.5 million beneficiaries across the country, 1/5 million across the country. The ministry has cleared all arrears of LEAP of 2022. We have cleared all the arrears. And the ministry has put all measures in place to pay the first cycle of 2023, and which will be done next week. We'll start the payment next week. So next week, the beneficiary will receive their cash grant. The ministry, in collaboration with government and our president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, as he is, have doubled the rate of beneficiaries. There's a table that will show you the rate that they were receiving, and now that's how much it has been doubled. We'll show you that table. When we get there, I'll let you know the table. The ministry too is doing some pilot reassessment of the program in some regions, namely Upper East, Upper West, Savannah, Northern Region, and Northeast. We have also included the vulnerable, especially those being accused of witch camp, who are in the Gambaga witch camp, the Ngani, and all. We have included them in the LEAP this year. They are going to be beneficiaries. We have also included the lepers, unfortunate ones. We have included them to benefit the LEAP. And then this will cover another regions, 5-6 regions. We have the Upper East, Upper West, Eastern Region, Volta Region, Central Region, Accra Region, especially the Leprosaurium. All those in the Leprosauriums will be covered to benefit from the LEAP cash grant. We have a one-member household. If you are a one-member household, the old rate was 64 Ghana cedis, and it has been increased to 128 Ghana cedis. If you have two household members, you have 76 Ghana cedis. It has been increased to 152 Ghana cedis. If you have 3 household members, you were receiving 88 Ghana cedis. Today, it has been increased to 176 Ghana cedis. And if you are 4 and above, they were receiving 106 Ghana cedis. And it has been increased to 212 Ghana cedis. I think the president needs to be applauded on this, because it's very significant, yeah. My friends from the media, Ghana school feeding. Ghana school feeding is one of our the government flagship programs, which is very consistent with the major policies and development strategies of the government, such as the Ghana Shared Growth Development Agenda, Ghana National Social Protection Strategy, and currently hinging on the SDG 1, 2, 4, and 5. So these are the reasons why the Ghana school feeding is working. There has been considerable growth. Before I continue, let me say I want to applaud the caterers. At least they have been patient all through for their payment. And I want to assure them that we are doing all what it takes to solve all the problems that they have brought to my table. All the arrears, the outstanding bills, the 4 days cooking bills, everything have been tabled, and we are working around the clock, and definitely we will solve all those problems. So if you look at what was happening, then the Ghana School Feeding Program had 1,671,707 beneficiaries in 2016. And this has increased to 3,801,491 in 2023. And this covers 10,832 public basic schools. And that is from the kindergarten to P6. It's huge. So what we have done, the following cost per meal, per day, per child, was increased from 8 pesos in 2016, 80 pesos, sorry, in 2016 to 1 cedi. Friends from the media, in 2023, the cost per meal, per child, per day has been proposed as 1 cedi, 20 pesos, as we stand now. 2023 academic year, the cost per meal, per child, per day has been proposed as 1 cedi, 20 pesos, as we stand now. And we are still in talks with the Ministry of Finance to see how best, if it can be reviewed, we will let you know. But as today, we are with 1 cedi, 20 pesos. School feeding program continued to provide employment for 34,350 caterers. 34,350 caterers and cooks, especially women in the rural area. It supports them to get some income and also support them to help pay some of their their children's school fees. And also it helps the farmers within our communities to also get money, and that goes a long way to boost the local economy. So it's a very laudable project. The program is currently an electronic monitoring system which provides real-time data to enhance service delivery. So the program now, we have given them, the coordinators, some laptops, some tablets, and we have trained them to use some apps. They would let you know that this caterer has cooked here, this caterer hasn't cooked here, this is the number of people that they have cooked. So we train the coordinators and even those in the assemble to give us, and the head teachers all have been trained to use the apps to give us the update, and that will feed into the electronic app that we have. The program payment of caterers. Payment of caterers. The program, as at April 2023, the ministry, in collaboration with Finance, Ministry of Finance, paid for the first and second arrears of 2022 academic year. I want to repeat that one. As at April 2023, the ministry, in collaboration with Ministry of Finance, has paid the first and second term arrears of 2022 academic year. 2022 academic year. I want to give the assurance here that next week, caterers' arrears will be paid. We have done all the validation, we have done the auditing, and I want to ensure that the auditing and due diligence is done. And it takes time because you could see that the numbers are very voluminous. in thousands. So you need time for the auditors to go through and make sure that every caterer who has cooked have been captured and will be paid. So this one takes time, and they have to bear with us when their monies are not coming in good time. Certainly, we will pay them, and next week we are paying. The third term payment for caterers for 2022 academic year. I want to emphasize on the third term payment of caterers for the 2022 academic year. 11,052 caterers files have been cleared for payments. 11,052 caterers files have been cleared for payment. Gentlemen and ladies of the press, some caterers did not cook during the third term of 2022 academic year due to certain reasons that maybe later on when we meet them we'll know, and they will not be paid. Some caterers did not cook the third term 2022 academic year, and they will not be paid. 76 caterers payment are pending. 76 caterers payment are pending as a result of challenges with their e-switch card mismatch with names and the numbers. So definitely they will come forward, we will do the correction, and immediately they will be paid. I want all of us to take note that the caterers under the program are paid based on number of days cooked within a term. As a caterer, you are being paid based on the number of days you cooked within a term. So if we have 67 days and you don't cook 67, and Abna cooks 67, and you cook 60 based on maybe you were not able to cook, you are going to be paid 60 days, but Abna will receive 67 days. That's the difference that we need to explain for caterers to know. So it doesn't mean that because Abna, Awisi, Mansa are taking 67, you should also take 67. No. Because the report that we receive from the regions, the head teachers and everything shows that you only cooked for 60 days. So you are going to be paid 60 days. Because caterers have been always coming forth and they paid somebody 60 and paid me this. So we need to let them know why normally the payments are not the same. So this is the reason why the payments are not the same. Caterers arrears are being compiled and will be resolved. We are compiling all the arrears. I have set up a desk officer in the ministry for everybody to bring in their arrears problems. They have been bringing them, so we are compiling them. And when it is done, we'll talk to finance and see how best those genuinely ones can be paid. So we are ready to work and then pay the arrears, all arrears that are due caterers. We have also developed a software, and this software is going to manage the Ghana school feeding data. This software, we are going to include all caterers. We are going to include all beneficiaries, the people. We are going to include all those who are cooking. And then we'll have, and the GES will also provide us with their data so that we know the number of schools, the number of caterers, the number of people that we are feeding. So in the next, just the next 1 or 2 months, every caterer by data will be picked with fingerprints so that transparency and accountability will be key. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the ministry will continue to implement planned activities and monitor the program at its enroll. Because this is a very laudable project, you can agree with me that this program has retained a lot of people in school. And that's why we're having the huge numbers of beneficiaries to this program. So I want all of you to join us to help fine-tune school feeding for the betterment of our beloved Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your understanding.
Honorable Minister, thank you so much for the brief but very insightful presentation. I was happy that Ministry of Gender came here and they have a lot of solutions. And this presentation was full of solutions and no problems at all. So I was particularly excited, and I know that there may not be any questions or too many questions. But of particular interest is the fact that Honorable Minister mentioned their collaboration with DVLA so that they can curate a program for persons with disability for them to be able to drive. You have no idea how impactful such an innovation will be in our country. Improved mobility and access to so many things, so that the fact that you are physically challenged does not mean you will be confined to a particular place. I believe it will open a lot of opportunities for our brothers and sisters who are living with disability. So I believe this is a story that I'm just so excited about, and I believe it will be well received by Ghanaians. On school feeding, Honorable Minister mentioned that in 2016 there were 1,671,777 beneficiaries, and as of 2023 we have 3,801,491 beneficiaries. I don't know if we can give a bigger applause to the Ministry of Gender for such an expansion, and also the improvements in the disbursement that they are giving to caterers, so that the quality of meals can also be improved. So, Honorable Minister, thank you so much. There is so much you spoke about, but I believe the Q&A session will elicit more explanation from your end. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, the floor is open. If you have any question, kindly mention your name and affiliation and proceed to ask your question. Yeah, Nana, and then Musa. Nana, please.
Yes. Good afternoon, Honorable Minister.
Good afternoon.
I think driving...
Your name and affiliation for the benefit of Honorable Minister.
I don't know her name. I don't know.
Your name and affiliation.
Okay, my name is Napoku from Delhi Satellite Newspaper.
Okay.
Honorable Minister, I know that driving demands every part of your body working. Before now, I know that there is a law that if you are handicapped in the way, you will not be given a license. So I don't know how you are able to bring in this idea or novelty of allowing disabled people to drive. And what type of vehicle are you considering? Is it commercial vehicle or private cars or what? So if you can be specific on those things, I'll be very happy. And then if we look at the cost per meal per child with only, let me say that, poultry 1 CD 20 pesos, I think it's very minimal, very meager. I don't know, because the creators have been fighting for increment. I don't know if you have a plan to increase it to a certain level, because today's 1 CD 20 pesos, I'm sorry, it's too low. Thank you.
Thank you for the questions, Musa.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. It's interesting. My name is Musa Lansa with GH1 TV. It's interesting that almost every gender minister has to deal with the issue of alleged witchcraft and the camps. What really is the problem? Why are we finding it difficult to close down these camps? You've met with the traditional rulers. What are they telling you about the challenges with dealing with the camps? And secondly, the issue of politicization of social protection programs. Action Aid released a report a couple of weeks ago, and they raised concerns, especially with school feeding and then the livelihood empowerment against poverty. How are we working to ensure that beyond unknown political people taking contracts for the catering job. We streamline it in such a way that we don't have a situation where there's a change of government and we have people being pushed out of contracts because they are said to be political party affiliates. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the question. We can pick 3 more questions. There are some other questions we picked for. Okay.
Honorable, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Pastor Femi Opokumi from Kingdom FM.
Okay.
Your question is, in a week, celebrating menstrual hygiene day. Mr. Amanfo raised the concerns kakra for sanitary pads. Sene born a costrodo. Am I calling on the ministry and they say they should try say if ombitimini abide in kumakakra which omoye parts na say be reduce so import duties na also ne kakra. So the question come honorable say how best in a bit me ayama sanitary pads and can it work rank say tax in poor was on bit me ye free so send a be affordable their movie idea and almost bit me I found but I say
okay, thank you for the question. Okay, we picked some 2 questions from our social media accounts and I'll read them out, but if you still have some questions we can take 2 more questions. Honorable Minister, there is a question on re-engagement of caterers from one social media user that caterers contracts are about to expire and they don't know if the ministry has any intention to keep the existing caterers or re-engage them. There is also a question about transparency and accountability concerns raised by the World Bank. So if you use the opportunity to also explain those ones. Yes, there is a hand.
Good afternoon. My name is Noble. I work with TV3. I'd like to find out these, please. So, as the minister was speaking, she noted that maybe they need a little bit of time to compute, the names and how much is owed the caterers. My first question is, what really accounts for the delay? Is it the numbers or there is no money from the sources the money come from? And she also spoke about the need to digitize the platforms to pay the caterers. I want to find out how much is usually lost because of the lack of transparency and digitization. Also, the Secretariat is often accused of, diverting funds. How true is that, and what are the plans towards that? My last is efforts to, increase the number of beneficiary schools. If there are plans to do that, and how will the Secretariat or the Ministry fund the increase that will come as a result of that? There's also, in the IMF report, there's a lot of mention of the school feeding program, that it will better target it, also increase budget allocation for the school feeding program. Has that been computed into the 1 cedi 20 pesos proposal for 2023? And if that has already been done, why are we not seeing an increase already and we're looking at proposals for now? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. So I take that to be the last question. But okay, John. But before I come to John, just to remind you that, the IMF program, if you look at the executive summary and the proposed PCPEG, some of the social protection programs, including LEAP and LEAP and the school feeding program, as well as the NHIS and capitation grants, are being protected, saying that there's been some minimum threshold set so that the government can commit more to set programs. But I believe Honorable Minister will talk about the computation in terms of cost if it's been affected by that. So I'll take the last question from John and invite Honorable Minister for her responses.
Thank you. My name is John Awuni Kesben. I wanted to find out from Minister what has been done about child beggars on our street, especially from our Sahelian neighbors. You walk through Circle and you see this half-caste kids all over you begging. And then the mad people too. Around Circle, every Sunday you see people going around giving them food at Circle, at so many locations. What is being done about that? Thank you.
Thank you for the questions. So I will now invite Honorable Minister for her responses.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Deputy Minister. And I'm happy that I have my able directors here to help answer some of the questions. Disability, persons with disability to drive. Yeah, I made mention of we be in talks with DVLA to give them the license. I think they also have the right to drive. So, and then we're also talking to local manufacturers to also look at how they can manufacture some cars that's what they want. That's what they are looking at, to manufacture some cars that they can drive on their own, because elsewhere it's being done. So, and some of them are importing, they want to import some cars and come, but because they don't have the license, they can't do that. So that's why we are collaborating with DVLA. So when it's done, at least we will launch and then for everybody to see what actually is going to be done here. Then why are we finding difficult to close down witch camps? I don't think we are finding it difficult to close the witch camps. This is a place that somebody who is being alleged, that's the point of first of call for her safety. So the last time when I visited the Gambaga witch camp, we had 61 of them there. That was 2022. But last month we were there and they are now 94, including 4 men. Now, the men too are now included. So we are doing it, but progressively. 120 of them have been reintegrated. So that tells you a lot of them have gone. Most of them want to go. So you need community sensitization. You need to sensitize the community that the fellow is coming from to accept her back. So that's what we are doing. We are engaging all those communities until everything is done. And then sending somebody back is not easy. Some of them have their personal needs that they feel that if they get, they'll be comfortable. You need to look at holistically all this and before you send them back. So definitely, we would one day close it, but progressively, we can't just say we are closing today, no. And then we are also looking at building age homes in all the 16 regions, so that at least it should be age homes, so that at least if I'm old and I don't have somebody to take care, at least there should be a shelter for me somewhere. It happens elsewhere, so we are looking at that. Then school feeding, politicization of school feeding. I don't know that one because we don't know, you can't actually pinpoint who is who, or this caterer belongs to A or B. No, you can't. Because this is a number that is with 30-something thousand. How do you say who belongs to who? I think there are a lot of myth and perception around it, thinking that any government who is in power satisfy his people and all those things. But as where I am, I don't, because I see even some people coming to me with complaints that I know they belong to some political party, and we resolve the problem because she has cooked, she has to be paid. We resolve those issues. So it hasn't come into my notice, and we will do our best to see how we can bring everybody on board. Then menstrual hygiene tax. There was a petition in the office last week, and then we are in talks with Finance Ministry and Ministry of Trade to see how best it can be resolved. I think if Ministry of Trade can also engage local manufacturers we can also produce sanitary pad in our country. Why can't we do that in our country? So that when we produce it in our country, definitely it will be a bit cheaper than the importation. So we are still in talks. When everything is done, I think the Minister of Finance will come out and tell us where we are. Transparency on school feeding. Somebody said they said the school feeding use the money. I don't know that one. The coordinator is here. Maybe she has to throw more light on that. Delay in payment. It's true. 30,860 something is huge. So when the document is very voluminous, you need to take time. And this people's money, you need to be very careful. She cooked this number of days. Cross-check from the coordinator, cross-check from the head teacher, cross-check from the district ensemble before you say, okay, A has cooked. So that one actually calls for delay in payment. So these are the things that we do. And some of them today delay in bringing out the coordinators, how we can get feedback. It's another issue. That's why we give them the laptop now. When I even click, I can know who cooked, and I can know the number of days the fellow cooked. So very soon, you can, any of you can sit there and click Saboba, and you know that the caterer has cooked very soon, because we are, the software is almost done. So we'll do that. Software to manage data of school fees. I think I've already mentioned that. The software is being developed, so when we are going to launch, we'll invite the media. Then child beggars on our street. It's true. We have done a lot on child trafficking. We have done some sweeps. We have gone out there with media to send them out, and they come from our neighboring country. We have engaged the embassies, some of the countries that we think they are coming from, Burkina Faso, Nigeria. We have engaged them, and even we repatriated some of them back, about 400 and something. And then they will go and find their way back. And then I always say, why should we give a child of school-going age money? It's business as usual. We also, as a country, should look at it. You know, if a child is 6 years and he's begging, why do you give the child money? If you don't give today, I don't give tomorrow. Somebody doesn't give 1 week, they don't get, they'll go back to school. So it's the culture, our culture of the way we give to these minors. That's why they're on the street. So we should look at it as a country, that you don't give a minor money. On what basis? So it's part of something that if we're able to collectively do in this country, it will solve the problem. You don't give, I don't give. 1 week, he doesn't get money, he goes back to school. So let's look at it. But we are doing all what we can to send them back. And then, like you made mention, most of them are coming from our neighboring countries. So in talks with the embassies, at time you go and they say, okay, for now, we don't have the logistics to send them back, or if you can help. We did, and they are back. So put our heads together with the team and the media and go out there again and see how best we can take them off. Then Madam spoke about contracts of caterers. Yeah. Normally, it's 2 years mandate, right, of contract. So we'll definitely do re-engagement. Definitely, it's part of the requirements that we are going to do. We'll do re-engagement. There are some people who want to opt out freely. They can easily opt out when we do the re-engagement, and reforms are given for you to fill your buy data, because now it's going to be more elaborate than what we had, because now you are going to use your fingerprint, your buy data, everything is being captured, your each suite now. Our numbers are attached to our ID cards. So most of them normally, they miss their phone. So when you even send the money, it doesn't go. And that's why we have some of the problems. But now, even if your phone is missing, we still have your number. We can still do the transaction. So very soon, digitization will take place, and then some of these things will definitely solve. Thank you. And then what is the last one that I couldn't address? Accountability and transparency. And it's the software that will help all of us. When we get the software, you know the number of schools, you know the number of caterers, you know the number of people. As easy as that. Then somebody too made me. Mad people, yeah, mad people on the street. I think this should also include health. Health. Because we have a psychiatric hospital. So health, maybe we will talk to health. With them, we'll see how best we can send them back to the psychiatric hospitals. Yeah. So, increment, you say what? Increment of schools. Come again? Yeah, yes, my brother. 1 city 20 pesos. Actually, it's not adequate. Now in the market, we know now there are changes. But at least it was 1 city. And now we have added 20 pesos. So gradually we are going there, gradually. So with finance, we'll come out with something gradually. But for now, they should bear with us. They should bear with us. Yeah, thank you. The number of schools now. I made mention 10,000 plus schools, beneficiaries, KG to P6. The number of schools to be increased. Well, for now, I don't have that information. When it comes, definitely, we'll come out and tell you the number of schools. And I think President wants every school to be captured, so we'll wait when it comes out. Yeah. Thank you, Patty.
Honorable Minister, Honorable Deputy Minister, I believe this has been a very, very fruitful deliberation, and I will count on our friends from the media to carry the story out there so that we can also educate the public about some of the very, very important initiatives being carried out by the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. And I believe beyond today, you will avail yourself of further media engagement so that they can ask more questions. So thank you so much for making time to join us on a Sunday afternoon. I know it's not easy to come out on a Sunday, but you honored our invitation and we don't take it for granted. So thank you so much for making time. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today. And finally, to GTV and all media houses for the live coverage and also the patronage. Thank you and good afternoon.
Next, news at 2 p.m.
Students advance careers in STEAM.
The strategy by Haven International and partners, My Goal, targets students between the ages of 8 and 21 years. It is to help provide early STEAM education for students with both special and non-special needs. The project infuses learning skills